Well, first of all, they fired Joe Lombardi 2 days after the season ended, offensive coordinator. Guess where he just landed this morning? Denver. Denver Broncos have hired Joe Lombardi as passing game coordinator and probably offensive coordinator. They just lost their defensive coordinator, and this is a really weird move. Ronaldo Hill, who's the hand-picked guy of Brandon Staley, come in as defensive coordinator. He asked to be released from his contract. He went to the Miami Dolphins, not as a coordinator. He took a step down, but they let him go. They got rid of him. And of course, his last 2 years, they were horrible in the secondary 2 years ago. Last year, they could not stop the bleep and run. He's gone, Ronaldo Hill. And now Devon Mitchell, who had been with the club 24 years, moving up the chart, become their lead trainer last group of years. They jettisoned him this morning, too. They've had so many injuries, defense, so many injuries in the offensive line. Now, I don't know how much of this injuries has got to do with training method, whether it's wrong. They're not all just tissue-related injuries, but we're talking football hit injuries. I tend to think it's part of the game, but Brandon Staley is making a change there, and that's a pretty significant change because that impacts a bunch of other people, probably in the strength and conditioning department of the Chargers organization. So the offensive coordinator goes to Denver, the defensive coordinator vacates, goes to Miami, and there'll be a new guy leading the medical team. Reaction?
Well, wasn't Lombardi, didn't he have the relationship with Sean Payton?
So he'd been in New Orleans prior.
Yeah, so that makes sense why he ended up in Denver, but I know Charger fans are happy to see Lombardi get shown the door. I just don't know what to make of all this. I mean, because you constantly, like we talked about this, you constantly reorganizing, reconfiguring your management team, and the system's constantly in flux. How can you build a foundation when your chief lieutenants are always different from year to year?
And Justin Herbert will start his fourth year with the Chargers as quarterback, fourth different offensive coordinator, which means different terminology, different playbook, maybe a bit of a different system, though I think the general consensus is with Kellen Moore coming in, they're going to try to keep in place a lot of the things that Justin Herbert does well. And that's a unique young man. He went through changes, coordinator at Oregon, comes to the NFL. He's had no stability on the coaching staff either.
Wow. I mean, that's and he has still shown some outstanding capabilities. Now imagine you get the right brain trust behind him, sky's the limit.
And you got to get the right people on the field around him, and I don't think they've gotten that done yet.